Chad and Anna here on the couch. What was we say?
Hi internet, YouTube people.
Like and subscribe.
And comment.
And comment.
And share with your friends.
I couldn't see through mine, that's why I'm cleaning it. I don't know why you're cleaning them. Glasses. Okay, let's begin. Hi guys, friends, family, followers. I don't know if we have those yet. A couple of weeks, 2 weeks back, I asked you guys to send us some questions. As it was coming up to a year since we left South Africa on this venture. So today we're going to go through those questions, try and answer them as best as we can. Courage, I don't know if...
I don't think we were courageous at all.
No, I think we decided we were doing this in like May last year, beginning of May, over my birthday. And then end of May I resigned, end of June we moved out of our flat, and mid-September we left. So everything was so quick, I don't think we had time to really feel scared.
It was mostly just excitement.
So I don't think what we did was courageous. I think most people probably think we were a little bit silly. Actually.
Yeah, I don't know what's courageous about it, because like the worst case scenario is you go home.
Exactly.
We don't have like anything big to lose.
Yeah, like Chad was already working remotely, and I've been, sorry anyone who watches this who used to work with me, but I've been wanting to leave recruitment for a while, so it wasn't that difficult for me to make the transition out of recruitment and for him to continue working online. The reason why we did do it was because we both had been talking about going traveling for a really long time, and it was coming to like the end of our 20s, so we were like, okay, now or never type of thing. And I had been waiting for a long time to sort out my residency issue in South Africa, which kept being kind of delayed, and there were a lot of issues, and I was just like, screw that, I'm over dealing with South African government, let's just leave. So it was a bit of like frustration that led us to this, as well as that want for an adventure.
Yeah, it's also like we had like a sweet spot, an age with low responsibilities or few responsibilities, and enough money to be able to do things like this. For me, it was mostly about how to pack properly. But I think that's only something you can learn with experience. My mom always harps on about traveling light. And I think it's only since we've been traveling that I've found that I don't use all the things that I've packed in.
I think our situation was different. We weren't like traveling for a few weeks and coming back home. It was like everything we want with us, we had to take with us.
It's difficult to leave things behind. Yeah.
You feel attached to certain things, and how do you narrow it down? And then
it's also difficult to think about like all the clothes that you're gonna wear. Like when you live in one place, you just stick it in your closet, If you wear it once in 6 months, you don't really notice it. But now I really notice it because I don't have that much. So it's like, why did I bring this piece of clothing or these shoes or whatever?
Yeah, we definitely packed too many shoes in.
Yeah. So.
I have a pair of wedges I wore once. Why I thought I'd need a pair of wedges, I have absolutely no idea. I think also what we did, and I'm not mad that we did it, is like we didn't do too much research into the countries we were going to. So before we left to go to Israel, we read up a little bit about it, but like not too much. And then when we were in Israel, we didn't like read too much about Vietnam. So because we wanted to go into each country with like a wow, oh my god, but at the same time it skewed our views of it. So like I thought that Vietnam was going to be a lot more rural than it actually turned out to be. And like there's an H&M in every single city. There are Zara's and much more fancier stores that we even have. You know, I grew up in South Africa, so yeah, I was like, cool, I need to buy all these things, but like, there was a lot of things I also could have bought along the way, and like, I've gone shopping at H&M countless times, and I've had to like throw things away in order to like keep the new stuff. So I think if I had just a better idea of like what we're walking into, like a more general view of like Vietnam, as opposed to like this is all jungle, that might have been more helpful in the packing situation.
Yeah, especially because you're gonna buy things as you need. So, like if you're going to like a place that's really hot, then just go there. There's gonna be great things for you.
Yeah, I bought 3 swimming costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
3.
I don't think we had a budget. No, I didn't really have a budget for each country.
I had saved up a bunch of money from like all the commission I made over the last year and a half at my previous job. So like that was kind of.
But had you budgeted it?
No, I was just like, this is the amount of money I have. Like, this is what I'm taking with me, type of thing. I didn't know whether it was going to be enough. Actually.
Yeah, so I did some Google research, mostly with Nomad list. It's a great resource. It's got like breakdowns of how much it costs roughly for a single person to live under different circumstances, expat, local, digital nomad, blah blah blah. Based on that, I've made some assumptions. They were a bit wrong. I worked out that we were going to live for a lot cheaper than we do, but not that that's a problem. I think that's just a function of how we want to live. Like we live how we want to, and we're able to do that. So why not?
We're not spending more money than we did when we were living in South Africa.
Yeah.
And we're able to travel at the same time. Chad was already working and continues to work for the same company remotely. And then for me, I started working online. And fortunately, because of coronavirus, things have kind of like been a bit up and down. And when I initially started, I was like bringing in the money. It was great. It was extremely helpful towards just like expenses. And then since then, it's kind of gone up and down because the market has just been bombarded with everyone who wants to teach online now because they've lost their jobs, unfortunately, due to coronavirus. So it's still it's fine. We can still survive, but I'll have to, wait for coronavirus to be over to have a really good idea of like whether I can comfortably survive on an online teaching center. So I'll have to let you know about that one.
No.
Like we've had a few funny situations. Like we've tried to order a food and then ended up like we tried to order pancakes, delicious Vietnamese pancakes, and ended up getting like this horrible thick soup with pig heart in it.
But that's pretty low stakes. It's like you pay for it and you leave, and you say,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't want to eat your terrible food.
Yeah. We have learned that like Google Translate is amazing. Everywhere in the world people use it, and it's just like such a tourist and heavy, rich country that people have gotten used to having to translate all the time. So either they've taken the time to learn English, which is fantastic, or Google Translate. So yeah, there's been, like I said, like funny little things that I got like laughed at by an entire local food market because I didn't understand something. That was fun.
But everything's been quite low stakes. Like it's always been like trying to buy food or something silly like that. And most of the time, there's a picture you can point at.
Oh, that's great about Vietnam. Like there's always photos on like the menus,
Yeah.
or like huge pictures everywhere. And in Israel, like a lot of people speak English. And if they don't, then they speak Russian usually as a second language, and I obviously speak Russian, so that helps us quite a bit. It's quite interesting because we never had this kind of dynamic where we're in each other's space 24/7, and so didn't know what it would be like, but we actually work really well together. Like, we don't get sick of each other.
Often.
Oh, okay, so kind of do sometimes.
Yes. You get angry with me.
I know, and then I just go to another room. So we're okay, and like that's a good thing, is we've realized that we work really well together, and we can be in each other's space a lot, and we can figure out like a schedule that accommodates both of us. So that's been an amazing thing for our relationship. A negative would be that it took me a little while, but I realized that like we cannot be each other's like be all and end all. Like you need a support system outside of your partner. They cannot be your best friend, your therapist, your lover, your mother, everything rolled into one. Like that's not fair to put that on another person. But also you need outside like perspectives and opinions. And, you know, your girlfriends are going to have a very different view than your boyfriend does. And so it took me a little bit of time, because I was obviously also like embarrassed. And, like, you know, things I didn't want to tell people that things aren't all as fresh sunshine and daisies. You know, we have had difficulties, and I realized after a while that like I need to do this stuff. So I've become a lot more open with my friends, and I chat to them a lot more. That's a really big advice I would give to couples. It's like make sure you have that support system outside of it.
I think also like it's important to do your own separate things to an extent, because like in a traditional day in the life, you come home from work, talk about your individual experiences,
Yes.
and if all your experiences are shared, you eventually come to a point where you're having dinner and you're like, what do we talk about now?
We've literally sat down at dinner, and I've said to Chad, like, so what are we going to talk about for the rest of the evening? It's like, we've already been together all day. But that's also created opportunities for us to have conversations that we've never had before as well. So you start to learn a bit about each other. But yeah, you are right. Like, you need to have time away from that person. Like,
You need individual experiences. So.
yeah, things to come back and tell your partner about.
For me, not so much. It's not so difficult, because she does most of the difficult things. I go along for the ride, but I think like the most difficult thing is always finding like your bearings in the new city, figuring out like where do you want to stay, where things are nearby.
So we always kind of get a temporary residence. We learned to
Like
do
a
that.
short term.
Like something short term, maybe a couple of days, like a week max type of thing. And then that gives us an opportunity to like suss out the area, figure out like where we can hire like a scooter or transportation or whatever. Whereas a good area to live within the city, because I mean cities are big and varied. And then we can start to look at something more permanent where we will rent an apartment for like a month, 2 months, whatever.
Don't just go on your Airbnb reviews. Like those are helpful, but sometimes it'll be a nice place, but it'll be like kind of far from everything else.
Yeah.
And it's just not nice.
Like we've learned that from experience. Like we once booked accommodation for like 10 days, I think it was, and it was in such a bad location that we couldn't even get the Grab, which is like the Asian Uber, to come to like they couldn't like find that, so we had to walk like 300 meters down the road and then call the taxi. So we cut that trip short for that stay. Luckily it was an Airbnb, so we could do that. So we've learned from our mistakes. It's also super exciting going to a new city, because all of a sudden you have so much to do. You like your weekends are jam-packed of like all the tourist things you want to do and all the food you want to eat. It's so exciting. After being in a city for a while, it's fantastic because you also like you've become so accustomed to where everything is and you're comfortable, but you also like you become very complacent. So like weekends tend to be like a lot more chilled, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But you like I've kind of seen all the sites, I've done everything. Now what? So it's exciting to go to a new city.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's just that initial hurdle of figuring some things out, and then it's because your life can't be all great. It's got to be some shit parts. That's mostly the shit parts.
Yeah.
I think that our life hasn't changed all that much in the sense that Monday to Friday is work, especially because our time zones are a bit weird. So I work a little bit later. So our evenings.
Because we wake up.
Yeah, we wake up later. So our evenings, maybe there's less time to go out and do things. But weekends, the same as living in Cape Town, where we'd go out to a wine farm, to restaurants, whatever, to experience some cool things. Now we're just doing that in a different country, a different city each time. So it's almost like there's more to discover. We did that in Cape Town for very many years, and it's very exciting. You discover something new. Now for us, that discovering something new is every weekend. And that's really cool. Also meeting interesting people.
Not only like meeting the people, but just like having your eyes and your worldview completely like opened to things that you would have not maybe seen before. Like, I mean, both of us grew up in the same city, lived there most, for me, almost my entire life, and you start to develop, well, like you take on the world views and ideals of the people around you, the people you grew up with, and like, unfortunately, a lot of the time, it's like being in the same
Like an echo chamber.
Yeah, there you go. This is my opinion. He makes short words out of long things, I want to say. So now it's like I've met so many people, and it's interesting hearing about their lives and their stories and where they're from and their opinions of things. And you start to see the world in a much more colourful way. You start to be a little bit more open-minded as well, I think. The people we met have like especially with coronavirus, like everyone complained about how their country like handled the situation. Yeah. And I was just like, it made me laugh so much because South Africans are very quick to like judge South Africa, and it's because like, you know, we're still a developing country, third world, whatever you want to call it. But like there are first world countries like America or France that have the exact same issues as like South Africa, third world developing country does. So it's like, yeah, you just learn to appreciate.
No one's happy with their home country's government, basically.
Yeah, but it teaches you to like just appreciate the good things about it.
Yeah.
So I really love that, and also the fact that it's food.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's like a big reason why we're doing this. Food. We really like to eat new food.
The name of the channel is definitely not Anna's Adventurous Appetite. Most beautiful for me would probably be Kulong, where we were like a week ago,
Last week, yeah.
and Jerusalem.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree. And Trangan, which is like right by Ninvin, it's where we did like the water boat ride with like these like beautiful rocky casts all around us. Like, oh, and then we went through like caves, like these long caves, and you're just like looking around you, like it's super majestic. And as you come out of the cave, it's like green everywhere. It was beautiful. And then
King Kong.
I haven't seen King Kong, so I'm gonna rewatch that. Just to be like, I've been there.
I remember that specific rock.
Well, the rocks are pretty big there, so. And then Kulong, where we were recently, like that was just like, it was basically like a jungle. It was like jungle with these, what do you call like flowing rice paddies?
Cascading rice paddies.
Just before harvest season, so everything was just green and luscious, and oh, it was just so beautiful.
Jerusalem is just like, it's, especially the old city, it's like awe-inspiring.
Yeah, it's
so
like
ancient.
feeling. You can appreciate the history of it. Like even as a non-religious person, like you can still appreciate like the things that have historically happened there.
I think not just that, it's just like it's the importance of the place. Like to so many people, it's so important. Like
That is
the
interesting.
Christian community around the world is massive. It's like incredibly important to them. equally so to the Muslim community, Jewish.
Orthodox. In Israel,
Oh, the guns
the
everywhere.
guns everywhere.
Because
It sounds weird, but like.
yeah, it's not like America. It's not like crazy people with guns.
So you have to go to the army as soon as you finish school, whether you're a man or a woman, girl or boy, and you get a weapon. For most of them get weapons.
It's like your army issued semi-automatic rifle.
And you got it carried around everywhere you go. I'm standing at the train station. There's a group of youngsters, and the thing is, they also look like children. They're like really young, like
18,
19, like 20, just like 2 or 3 years service, and like they're just chatting, laughing with like this huge semi-automatic.
I think so.
Like a semi-automatic, it's like massive, and you're just like, hello, okay, this is normal apparently.
So, I mean,
It took a little while to get used to it, but then it's also like when you chat to people, it's such a normal part of that. And for me, it's like I feel like it's such a crazy thing because there is genuinely still a lot of war going on in the Middle East. So it's like Israel's like right there. So it's like such a scary thing for me to wrap my head around, but it's just so normal. Like it's such a big part of their culture.
yeah, there's like whatever you get along, you get.
Yeah, basically. Like we want to talk about, we're like, tell us more. They're just so like blasé about it. So that was interesting. And then also just like the abrasiveness of Israelis, it took a moment to get used to like not, like cues aren't really a thing. You kind of just gotta like...
Force your horse, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would have said. Force your horse. Which is fine, we got used to it after a while. There's a few times I got used to it pretty quickly, like coming from a family that was from like Eastern Europe and whatever. Like I had to say to Chad, like you cannot have your pretty English politeness on. Like you just gotta get in there, brother. I don't know why I got so aggressive about that. Okay, and then in Vietnam, the scooter situation was interesting. Like we knew there was gonna be a lot of scooters, like we knew that, but
It's going to be chaotic, but I think until we actually, our first day in Ho Chi Minh City, and we tried to cross the road. It took like 5 minutes before a Vietnamese man realized we were like
just
totally out of our
there.
depth and escorted us across the road.
I don't know how we knew or how he knew, but we knew.
Yeah.
Like he looked at us in the eyes and we knew that this man was gonna help us cross the road.
Yeah. He looked at us and he was like, these people are in trouble.
Literally.
Taught us the trick, just walk.
So then we Googled how to cross the road in Vietnam, and we watched other like travelers, and I remember this one girl was like, you just walk and you don't look. And I was like, I don't know if I believe her advice.
Yeah, no.
You still need to look where you're going. You still want to look,
Yeah.
but like you should put your arm out to just kind of be like, I'm crossing now, like slow down.
You give them the eyes and then they know they must go around you.
Yeah, it's very important if you can catch their gaze, because then you're like, you can see me. Now you can't knock me over. How trusting people are. Like,
Yeah.
especially in Vietnam. Like in Israel as well.
Like leaving your stuff on the beach or that type of stuff.
But in Vietnam, it's like on a whole nother level. Like we had to check into a hotel quite late. And the lady was just like, there's no one going to be there, but like, here's the barcode to get into the building. And like, you find the key, like, here's is where we keep all the keys and your key will be there. And like, when you leave, like, leave your money type of thing. And I was like, we could have like literally just been like in and out, didn't pay, probably come back. Like, we could probably go back there now and like spend the night. No one would even know because we know how to get in now. So it's like, very trusting. And like the money, tell them about the money situation. They collect money.
So like the people that sell you street food, they typically everything's done in cash. Yeah, everything's done in cash, and especially like in the mornings or around lunchtime they get like really busy, and they just keep the cash in a plastic packet, or if there's a drawer in their little stall, they'll just drop the money in there. And they literally have like you can pay packet type of plastic packet, just cash just dropped
And
in.
then like dig in there to find your change.
And it'll be sometimes like it'll just be like hanging almost like a trash bag.
Like I could grab it.
Yeah, and they'll like drop your money in there and they'll go and sort something out over here, talk to another customer over there, just drop money. That's normal. Another interesting one is also like the petrol attendants.
Oh yeah.
You do all your petrol. And most things are done in cash here. Petrol attendants carry like wads of cash like this.
In her hand. So one hand is for
Petrol.
the pump and to like press button, and then the other hand is just the bank.
Like,
It's the bank.
yeah, it's like money that they've received and change.
Also getting used to speaking in thousands is weird. Like the smallest currency in Vietnam is 1,000. Yeah, it's 1,000 dong. But there's no coins in Vietnam either, which is kind of nice for wallet. And so it's like, which is like the exact opposite of Israel. Because Israel, they even had a 10 shekel coin. Yeah. They didn't have 10 notes. It was a shekel. It was a coin. Yeah. So it's been interesting to like talk in terms of thousands. Like
And it still gives the people 100,000 for a 10,000.
they look very similar. They
Or
look almost exactly the same.
I think not having done it sooner is the only one. Because once we've started doing this, it's almost like opened up a new world of possibilities. Like I think the list of countries we want to see grows like weekly. But time doesn't get any longer, especially thanks to Corona. But I think we may be a little bit more focused now. Otherwise, no, I would do it again.
I would 100% do it again.
I'd bring less shoes.
And I'd go tell China that they're about to have an outbreak on their hands. I don't know. I'll tell them. And then
Tweet at China.
you're about to have coronavirus again. So this is more like an effort to go back in time situation.
Yes.
Oh,
That's what regrets are, aren't they? What you do differently.
yeah. What did I do differently? I have more work and stuff.
So you have less shoes and more shoes.
Yes. Too many sneakers, not enough open shoes.
So I don't think we have a concrete plan.
Especially because our initial goal was kind of,
Travel for 1 year and figure it out at the minimum.
yeah, and then like it's been a year and we've been to 2 countries, so we're like,
Yeah, we need to do more.
yeah. So I mean, we would love to still go to like Japan and
Yeah.
South Korea. Like that's very big up on the list in terms, because now we have to also
Especially Asia.
limit what we want to do. So like before it was like all these Asian countries. Now we're like, okay, we got to nail it down to like the ones we really
Yeah,
want
prioritize
to go to.
basically.
So those 2 are probably at the top of like the Asian list, maybe Taiwan. And then we really want to go to Eastern Europe, go travel around the Black Sea. We've heard some amazing things from like people, other digital nomads that we've met about countries like Bulgaria and Georgia and a host of other places, Croatia, Estonia, whatever. So
Places you wouldn't think of, I don't know. So
no, never ever thought about even
like,
going there.
which offer lots of great experiences at sort of a like, lower price, and it's also quite cool to go somewhere I think that's maybe undiscovered in some sense. Sort of travel hipsters.
Yes, we like to set the trends, not follow them.
But that being said, like our whole idea was to sort of travel and experience different countries and like potential places to put down roots, and then obviously live a more normal traditional life in whichever country we decide.
I'd like to decorate our home and buy lots of plants.
Yeah, we're not gonna be in 10 years still doing this. Yeah.
Do we miss you?
Of course we miss you guys. That's probably one of the harder things about traveling like this.
Yeah.
Especially, I know that Anna has a tough time, especially on like special occasions like birthdays,
Hate them.
things like that.
Hate being away from people's birthdays and engagement parties.
Yeah. But I guess it's one of those things that you have to sacrifice in order to have good things.
Yeah. So it would have been nice if coronavirus didn't happen. So we would have potentially have met some friends along our travels. But who knows? Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you for joining us. I don't know what to say that.
Oh, are we hosting like a
Yes.
TV show now?
My name's Ron Burgundy.
No, your name's Chad Lamb. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.